All right, how did he give me HIV part 4? Okay, so here we are. We are at the doctor's office, and it's time for us to get our results. We are, separate getting our results. So I knew my results was negative. He's in the other room getting his results. And then it's time for us to come into one room together with the doctor. Okay. So we're sitting in front of the doctor. The doctor's going over other things with me as far as, being a new patient. He's, giving me all the whole new patient spiel and things, and, just how the practice works and how he works and operates as a physician, things like that. So it comes to the point where he says, well, I know we've discussed individually your test results, and are you guys ready to tell each other, your test results? So I'm sitting in front of the doctor, and I'm telling him my test results show that everything's negative, and he tells me the same thing. Right there in front of the doctor. Again, the three of us are in the room, and he's telling me right in front of the doctor that all of his labs that he had done, which were HIV testing as well as STD panels, everything's coming back negative. Okay, cool. I mean, honestly, at that moment, I didn't expect to hear any other answer. Like, there was nothing that would have told me that I should have heard anything other than what I heard in that moment. Okay, so we fast forward, and we continue to get, on the road to getting married. Now, throughout this whole process, because I feel like I need to really explain some things too, because as I move forward through this story, there's going to be a lot of questions and a lot of like, girl, what the hell was wrong with you? You ain't see these red flags. Let me tell you something. Absolutely not. But there's reasons why a lot of those red flags were hidden or maliciously taken away out of the equation for me to not be able to see. So again, remember I told you that his mom was a family friend. So I knew his mom before I knew him. Okay, I knew his mom before I knew him. There were moments when his mom would say, hey, I'm going to eat breakfast at this diner. Do you want to come with me? So I would go with her, eat breakfast. She would invite me to her house when she would have events off and on. But, this was not even with him being in the picture or anything. Like, again, I knew her before him. Okay. She was Miss Rhonda to me. This is someone who I knew and all at her house, whatever it was. And so, again, this is someone who I considered a friend, someone who I would trust in my life because she was someone who I was around a lot. Okay. So I feel like if there was something wrong or if there was something that she would have ever needed to tell me, I feel like she would have or should have come to me and told me if there was something wrong, something that I really needed to know. Okay. So even through this whole process of us leading up to the marriage, so within this year of 2007, again, still she's with me. Even when I was sick and in the hospital, she was at my bedside. I mean, now it all makes perfect sense why she was at my bedside, but however, at that time I just felt like she was a concerned future mother-in-law. Oh, my daughter-in-law is sick, I need to be by her side, let her know since my son isn't here, he's in South Carolina, that at least she has me here with her. That is my thought. That is what I felt in that moment, seeing her at my bedside as much as I did. She take me with her to her sister's house. She take me just meeting different people. I met people in their family. I met people that they considered friends and best friends and things like that. And as we're planning this wedding, like literally she's with me at the bridal shop as I'm picking out my wedding dress. Okay. Are you listening? So this lady, if there was ever anything wrong or anything that she felt I needed to know, there was ample opportunity for her to tell me. Okay. Plenty of opportunity for her to tell me. Now, obviously that didn't happen because we're here. So one of the things that also really bothered me was the fact that you know, people started having these, like, I would hear certain things. Oh, she married him because he's an older man and he has money. Like, there was things that people would whisper, oh, why she marry him, he's old. So now, at the time that we're getting ready to get married in 2007, I was 24. I turned 24 in April of 07, and he was 37. So that is our age gap in 2007. I was 24, he was 37. He wasn't turning 38 until after the wedding. And so, you know, that was a lot of whisper. Oh, she just want this man for his money. Because granted, the place that he was working at the time, the manufacturing company, he was making about $25, $26 an hour. And so, you know, people assume $25, $26 an hour, oh, he got a lot of money. But people do have bills and other things and responsibilities that they have to take care of. So I, on a personal level, knew what his expenses and different things were, because again, we were getting married and I was coming into his situation by leaving Florida and coming to South Carolina into his, you know, domain, so to speak. So that's kind of where that was at, and I just, you know, ignored it, didn't really listen to it too much. Now, when it came to the wedding planning, of course, my best friend was my maid of honor, and you know, he had his best friend as his best man. So we've doing all this planning and everything. I've planned it out, you know. We in the church. I got my colors. I have who I want to marry me. We have songs. We have catering. We have decorations. Everything is planned out. Everything is, you know, we're working on all this stuff. Now, we get to a point where, you know, he also had another daughter too. So he had 2 kids from his ex-wife, but he also had an older daughter from his girlfriend he had when he was in high school. And so that daughter lived on the West Coast. I believe it was in Arizona or somewhere over there on the West Coast. So it was a thing of, okay, is she coming to the wedding? If she is, we need to make sure she gets here. She was coming. She was actually in the wedding, in the bridal party. So, you know, we got all this stuff worked out. So he had 3 kids, okay? And everything seemed fine. Everything was going good. We planning things. We're doing things. You know, I was going to school. I was working. He would go to work, come home. You know, he come home from his 3rd shift. Only time that he would not come home directly from work is if he said, hey, you know, because he was this quote-unquote handyman. So there were times when he would say, well, you know, I got to go and help such and such with something at their house. They asked me if I could come and help them with a plumbing or with this or with that, whatever it is, you know, plumbing. So I didn't think none of it. This is what he did. He was like a Mr. Fix-It type of guy. He liked to, you know, exercise his manly fixing things, you know. So that didn't bother me. He'll call me on the way home. You know, he got off work and said, hey, I'm going to be running late. I'm going to do X, Y, and D for such and such. Like that. So nothing out of the ordinary. Again, there was nothing that ever led me to think anything other than what I knew. There were no red flags. There was no signs. Like, nothing. When I say nothing, I'm telling you guys, me and this man never argued. I mean, we might have had disagreements of things, but we always talked it out. We never went to bed angry. We, you know, had great communication as far as, you know, making sure he understood what I was comfortable and liked, and vice versa. Never had any issues until a couple days before the wedding. Okay? Because again, we got married in Florida, and we had to drive from South Carolina here to Florida. And that is when all the shit hit the fan. That's when it hit the fan, y'all. That's when it hit the fan.